Hey Nail Kings, how you doing? I'm working on drying up some of the beautiful Virginias that I shredded up. Waiting for that to dry out to mix with a little barley and put in a pipe. Want that to dry down a little bit more. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to dry, figured I'd jump on here real quick and make a video, yeah? Okay, so I just wanted to share the information with you as I go with it, just in case anybody else would want to give it a shot or try of working with whole leaf and shredding their own and whatnot. So I purchased through Whole Leaf Only a couple pounds of tobacco. You've seen the box opening. I finished the last of it. I got about 5 more pounds coming, and a new grind or shredder, because the last one ground down to nothing and broke. So when I purchased 1 full pound of Canadian flue-cured Virginias, per pound on Leaf Only is still at $19.99 a pound. For me to work that full pound, from taking out of the bag, inspecting each leaf as you go, as you're stripping and stemming the leaves, stacking them up, shredding each one of them, putting them back in the bag so they don't lose their case, you know. All that takes about an hour and a half worth of tinkering around per pound. At least for me it does. Especially when you got wonky shredders and stuff. I'm sure if you had one of those fancy electric ones, it'd be a heck of a lot smoother, but it is what it is, yeah? So, needless to say, the one that I soldered the end to on this one, right there, even that broke off of the shredder. So, I contacted Leaf Only the day that it broke and still haven't received nothing from them, so I just went ahead and ordered more. So, but back to the Virginias. At a pound is $19.99. So let me get my glasses on here. So at a pound is 16 ounces. So out of a pound, there was 5.4 ounces of stem waste. Now this is me being the type of person that's meticulous. I try not to waste any of the tobacco as much as I could. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that just want the basic bulk of that leaf and shred it up, and they don't care about the little, you know, bits and ends. But I do. So at $19.99 a pound, I'm gonna take my time and go through them all. Thus, that's why it took an hour and a half. So waste off the top of a 16-ounce 1 pound bag is 5.4 ounces of stem waste. And that left me with, out of 16 ounces, 10.6 ounces of usable, beautiful, shredded product, right? So that equates to about $1.88 an ounce for your Virginias. The Burleys, they have a tendency to what's the word I'm looking for? Because they're heavier, it seems, they have a tendency to jam up your shredder quicker than the Virginias do. And there's a really fine point when you're shredding the tobacco. If you shred it and it's too moist, it's too much in case, it gums up and it becomes really difficult and it wears out your shredder. And if it's too dry, you just end up with crumbled pieces of leaf, like dry autumn leaves. Yeah, that's very difficult. Then you have to rehydrate it and all that stuff. So there's a very small window of the correct case to do the shredding of your tobacco. Very small window to make sure that you get it just the right consistency so it goes through the shredder easily, but it doesn't gum up and it still has enough case in it to where you just have to dry it out a little bit if you decide to roll your own cigarettes or make your own pipe blend or whatever. I just wanted to share that type of information with you. So that's pretty much average, believe it or not. You're going to go anywhere between 5.5 to 6 to, in really bad, crappy cases, depending on the actual load of tobacco you get. Some of the poundage that you get, the leaves are really small, but the stems are big. And then some cases you'll get a much larger leaf with the same size stem, but it yields much more usable tobacco in the end than it does the waste. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so you can use that information for what you will. The shredders I got coming is one of those desktop ones that are, it says it's much bigger than the little, mount to your workbench tabletop there and crank away. That the hand operated one that I got this time, you're actually allowed to use a drill bit to anchor that to the side and use a drill, so you're not sitting there cranking your tits off for an hour and a half trying to get everything shredded up. I bought the same model of the hand crank one that you mount to your tabletop, as well as the big, quote unquote, big boy shredder for the next 5 pounds that are coming in. I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out, and it's funny that when you look at the shredded bag as a whole of the actual color, there is a distinct color difference between the Canadian flue cured and the American flue cured. The American is considerably lighter, borderline yellowish, sort of, and the Canadian is much more orange, so to speak. So that's what's left out of each one of the harvests out of the last big box of tobacco I bought. Like I said, I got 5 more pounds coming to shred, and of course there's what's left of that beautiful looking burley. Smells absolutely amazing on all of them. I was actually trying to think of what I could do with those bags that have what I consider to be leftovers. Once I have my cigarettes rolled out and, and I use my standard, cigarette tubes. Once I get my cartons taken care of and rolled over that way, whatever's left over, I pretty much put towards pipes or just put them in a jar and leave them be and let them age that way. But I'm curious to what you guys think I should do with the remaining burley American and Canadian Virginias. If I should try pressing some maybe make them into a puck, maybe blend all three and stick them into a puck. I'm not sure yet, but I'm open to ideas. But I just wanted to share that with you, Kings. I hope you guys had a good weekend, and we'll talk again soon. I just wanted to share that information with you, just in case anybody out there wanted to give it a shot. Yeah, it's an hour and a half worth of work and some money to get you going, but in the long run, I mean, here you're talking well over $120 just for a carton of Marlboros. That's absurd to me. So it's well worth your while to roll your own or make your own pipe blends if you can. I'm not much of a damn blender, I'll tell you that right now. There's a lot of people out there that have that type of skill, but my skill level as far as blending is concerned is either I like it or I don't. I don't have that ability to, blend and taste different nuances and things like that. So, but yeah, 1 pound automatically. If you're doing whole leaf, and this goes across the board, it was a little over. For the Virginias, it was 5.4 ounces. The burley itself, that was close to 6.2 ounces of waste with the stems, only because the stems are predominantly bigger on burleys than it is Virginia. But it is what it is, yeah? So 1 pound, $19.99. Takes about an hour and a half worth of work. It'll yield you approximately 10.4, as it was 10.6 ounces, and that will be about $1.88 an ounce. $1.88 an ounce, yeah. So do with that with what you will. We'll talk to you again, Kings. Talk again soon.